Oh my god. How the hell did they even pull that off? What's up, horror fam? Steven aka Bojangles here, and by the end of this video, you're going to find out whether Lucio Fulci's Zombie is worth a watch. Right now, let's go ahead and do a little movie rundown, shall we? A mysterious boat washes up in a New York harbor with no crew on board. A reporter begins investigating the incident, and he also runs into a girl that's looking for her father, as this was her dad's boat. As they're investigating the boat, they come across a letter that was left for the girl from her father, which leads them to an island. On this island, we have a doctor that's working on a mysterious disease which brings the dead back to life. And if living people get the disease, it kills them and then brings them back to life. In other words, you're ultra screwed if you're on this island. By the time the movie's over, all the dead on the island are coming back to life. So you can imagine things get pretty hectic for our protagonists. The current IMDb score for Zombie is a 6.9 as of April 5th, 2021. So, how's this movie been hyped? Well, it's been hyped as any other Fulci flick. A total gore fest, which is kind of a shame, because yes, there's great gore, of course, just like any other Fulci flick, but there's so much more to this movie. So, what can you expect from Lucio Fulci's Zombie? Well, let's go ahead and start with great gore. Of course, while other directors are cutting away from the action, Fulci is zooming in. And not to say that he doesn't get artistic with some of his gore moments either, and I'm not talking in the sense that Dario Argento gets artistic, but no, Fulci has his moments, and they become evident in this film. There's a great story. It's not like every other typical zombie flick. Great music. Now, it's really simple, but also very effective. Once they get on the island, there's some like incessant drumming, which is just as unnerving for you being the viewer as it is for the characters. It really drives it home. And let me tell you something, baby, those Italians love their tatas. There's going to be a lot of booby action in this movie. And as hypersexualized as these Italians are, and what I've kind of come to expect, I'm surprised there were no dangly bits in this one either. And what I'm talking about is some pee-pee, my friends. I'm surprised we didn't see some Italian dudes walking around with that giant 70s bush and a little 1-inch pecker head sticking out. Look like a little baby bird starting to climb out of a nest. And of course, probably the most famous scene from this movie is the zombie fighting a freaking shark. Now, how the hell did they pull this off? I have no freaking idea. I mean, they have a dude dressed up as a zombie in like the bottom of the ocean, holding his breath while trying to like hug a shark or fight a shark, whatever the hell they're doing. I mean, could you imagine how the hell this was planned out on set? I couldn't imagine if Fulci asked my big ass to go down there and try to fight a shark while holding my breath. He'd be in for a surprise when I floated right back to the top face down. So props to these motherfuckers for pulling that shit off. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. This has one of the best eye gouges in horror movie history. And it's arguably the best eye gouge. I don't know how the hell they did this, but just look at this. God damn! And by the end of it, yeah, there's some cheesy moments where like some of the characters get paralyzed with fear, which is something you don't really see in modern horror anymore, but it's cheesy, but it's also kind of cool. But by the end of this movie, you really do start to feel the desperation and the tension, and you really are pulling for these characters and hoping for the best, but you kind of know or have a gut feeling where this is going. Things get pretty dire. So what's this movie comparable to? Well, if you've ever seen The Serpent and the Rainbow, I would say it's pretty comparable to that, at least in the voodoo aspect. And it also has an investigative feeling to both of these with a little bit of mystery thrown in. You're kind of wondering what's happening to these people and why. It's not just straight up kill, 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 action scene, action scene, action scene. You're actually drawn into the story. So, where can you watch Lucio Fulci's Zombie? Well, pretty much everywhere if you're willing to pay for it. Now, if you already have a subscription to Shudder, it is listed in their catalog of films. You can also check it out on Amazon, and likewise, if you have the Shudder add-on for Amazon Prime, you can watch it right on there. I will go ahead and link to it below in the description to Amazon. So if you're going to rent this movie or purchase it, please go through that link because it'll give me a little bit of kickback. I'll make like a couple pennies or something off of it. But hey, every little bit helps to support the channel, right? And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if y'all want to go ahead and become part of the Horror Fam, now is the perfect time to make that happen. And that way, if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, you can become part of my crew. And we will survive, my friends. I'm from West Virginia. So what's my final score for Lucio Fulci Zombie? Is it worth a watch? I would actually say it's not only worth a watch, it's actually worth owning, and hypothetically more than once. So what that means is, if you have a friend who doesn't own it but they're a huge zombie fan, it would be worth buying them a copy. If you have it on DVD and now there's all these sweet-ass remastered versions of it, I would say it's worth picking up the remastered version.
You don't worry that people are going to wonder why you just went off on a thing on Italian peckers?